Hi, I'm Josh with Waupaca Community Media. We're back again. Ron Sorry from the School District of Waupaca, Aaron Jensen from the City of Waupaca. Hello.
Hey,
Hey,
hello.
Josh.
And the first thing we'll talk about, we'll get the community up to date about the school district's referendum project, the single secure entrance project, and a couple things with that. The first, Ron, you've got some drawings of what it's going to look like.
So this is an image, a rendering from our architects. If you were in the vestibule area, the entryway area, I should say, at the high school. So this is kind of by the door of the high school office. Looking at the community room, that door right there is the community room where the board meetings are held. And the district office is in this area here, and this is the entrance area, if you can see my cursor moving from outside. This next picture is just taking a couple steps back so everybody can see, be positioned on how this is looking. And then this picture is from inside of the office, the high school office, where our secretaries are currently sitting and looking at the entrance door. So people would be buzzed into this area here. This would become the secure vestibule where this region, there would be another set of doors you can't see behind where a person will be standing looking in that direction. But then you can see the doors right here, I guess. I didn't realize that. Where my cursor's moving would be that other set of doors. So when a person is buzzed into the high school, this area back outside of the office, between that door and the outside doors would be where they would be. That would be the secure vestibule. And they would have to get buzzed in to come to the office. But oftentimes, parents or other people who come to the high school during the day or any of the buildings during the day would just need some sort of interaction. And you can see this little window right here, and there's a desk. A receptionist, one of the secretaries would be sitting here and acting as a receptionist. And there's a little hole in the glass, and then there's a little transaction area underneath the glass, kind of like at a bank where an envelope or paper could be slid. And then there's a drop box. You can see a drop box right here. So if there was like a Chromebook or tennis shoes, a backpack, for instance, could be put in that drop box so that visitor who's a parent or whoever could make the transaction through this transaction window and then leave. So it would significantly reduce the amount of traffic coming into the office itself. This is a close-up view of what we were looking at from a further view. So here's that window that has the microphone so people can easily hear each other. There's the transaction slip, and that drop box is located right here. So they would put it in from the outside, and the receptionist would be able to then access that from here. And every one of our 4 buildings will have something very similar to this, just customized for each of the 4 buildings, but they all look and have this similar aspect with a transaction window for the receptionist or secretary and a drop box. So we're very pleased with that, and pretty happy that we're on our way with these designs, and it's getting ready to be put out for bid. If it isn't already, it will be shortly.
It's nice to see what this is going to look like, and having been in some of the buildings, in my mind, this seems like it might be one of the easier ones to get done.
Yeah, the high school is probably the easiest, and the WLC is the most complicated because the whole thing is outside of the envelope of the building, the current building.
So the other topic in relation to this, I know the school board recently met and you've talked the financials of this project, trying to time it out, when you're going to borrow, trying to get the best interest rates.
Yeah, our financial consultant, Carol Worth, was on hand and presented and shared with the board the timeline, talking about interest rates and the potential. Next month, we're going to have different resolutions that the board will have to act on. This month, she was just explaining how this will all work for April, May into June, and the borrowing of the money, and then the interest rates and working with the underwriters. It's a pretty comprehensive process, and that's why we use a financial consultant to make sure that we don't make any mistakes. We don't want to be one of those districts where paperwork wasn't filed correctly, and we got to have it perfect. So that's we're working with the expert to guide us.
Very good. We'll jump over to Aaron now and talk about downtown Waupaca a little bit. Last year was the first full year of having a completed downtown. One of those new optional amenities were all the flowers you saw, and some support is needed to help continue that again this year.
Yes. So the last couple of years, if you've been to downtown Waupaca, I'm sure you've noticed the beautiful flower pots that's up and down Main Street. It's something that we've gotten more compliments on over the last couple of years than we've received in a lot of things in a long time. The flower pots were paid for as a project cost the first year, and then we got some support from our CDA, Community Development Authority, last year. We want to keep this going with as popular as it's been and as much of a drawing point as it is to our downtown business district. We want to ensure we keep it going. We budgeted money in our budget process for 2023, but we also want, I think it's one of those things that we can get some matching support for. So we do have a fundraiser happening right now, and if anyone's interested in contributing, they do have an opportunity to get kind of notoriety for their business in the flowers, whether the large pots, the small pots, there are different sizes out there, also on our website. And if there's any if you are interested and want any more information, you can just contact City Hall, ask for me or Jared, and we can help point you in the right direction. So yeah, we're excited to get those going again.
Very cool, and we're looking forward to the warmer weather where we can see them too.
Yeah, me too.
Jump back to Ron. We're looking at some scheduling changes at the middle school, and before the interview, you're telling me each grade has its own schedule that doesn't line up with the other grades, and you're looking at some changes with that.
You're right, Josh. Thanks. Currently, 5th grade has its own schedule, 6th grade its own, 7th its own, 8th its own. So there's 4 different schedules going on, and what that means is our students are in the halls, or there are students in the halls 29 times during the day. So you can understand how that creates, and not only that, but all the other issues and challenges that type of a schedule creates when we have the sharing of staff and trying to be efficient. So our administrative team at the middle school, along with the staff, has been working diligently over a year now, and came up and shared with the board last night the solution that they were able to collectively come up with. And it's a very nice new schedule. Everybody's on the same bell schedule. So we believe that this is a positive change for our middle school, and will help our teachers and our students as well. And the board unanimously approved it, obviously.
Very cool. Then we'll jump right over and we'll talk about the Comet House. I just saw the post on Facebook the other day that that's available for people to bid on, to purchase and move to their property. And tell us a little bit about it.
It is. The RFP is out. We're looking for bids. The minimum is 50. We're hoping to get between 60 and 65,000 for the house. The proceeds from this house go into our building program. So it'll go back in for students and our staff to work together to put another house together. It probably won't be exactly the same size. We're looking at some other options. This is a big house and it can't go underneath a viaduct. But it is a over 1,400 square feet with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, and it's very well laid out. Everybody that's toured it has complimented on the open concept and how good the flow is. A lot of room for somebody or people or a family who may be interested in it.
You know, you mentioned the kind of the price range you're expecting to get. You know, I know that doesn't include land or moving it or getting a base or foundation, but to get a house nowadays for that price, that's almost unheard of. So it sounds like a good deal for people to consider.
That's what we think too, Josh. We hope somebody will take advantage of this opportunity.
And then the students get to build another one as long as someone buys it. So that's a win-win.
Right.
Then we'll jump back to Aaron, and we're going to talk about a couple of different recent student activities that took place at the City Hall Library building this past week.
Yeah, so last night it was packed around here. For those who came to City Council, kind of surprised when we could not find a parking spot downtown because the library, right before City Council meeting, had Night at the Museum with a bunch of students all over, spread on the both levels of the library, dressed in character. I know a couple of them that I went to see. I think one was Teddy Roosevelt, one was Coretta Scott, and there was many others. And it was really cool. You'd walk up, they wouldn't talk to you unless you just tapped them on the shoulder. I asked a couple other, then they'd tell you all about that person in history, and they did an unbelievable job. I even asked what some of their names were, so you could tell them, "Hey, nice job, Joey or Sam or whatever," and they would not. They wouldn't get out of character. They said, "My name's Teddy," if they were Teddy Roosevelt. It was funny, but a ton of fun. A lot of parents and families were able to watch their kids do something pretty neat. And then at our council meeting, we had students from the Chain Exploration Center, 7th and 8th graders, come over, a whole class, and give presentation. They had a class project on climate change migration. So there's a theory, and some of it's probably already happening a little bit. People that are sick of living out west in the wildfires or the droughts or the whatever it might be, some of the extreme weathers, coming to places that we don't see as much of that. You know, we don't have, we're not very prone to have those types of things in central Wisconsin or the Midwest. And said, okay, if that starts happening in our communities in 15 years or 20 years or 30 years, what are the things that you have to think about? So they gave kind of a comprehensive look on like wellness programs. They have a presentation on clean water, public transportation, welcoming new people, about a bunch of things that a community would have to consider. The kids did a great job. And it was something new for our council members, and neat. It's neat. It's nice to have youth engaged in that. So hopefully, we're hoping we get one of those kids to have a little interest in public service and city government. Maybe they can get a job with us in the future.
Very cool. Well, Aaron, Ron, appreciate the time to get everyone up to date. Lots of exciting things going on.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.